The CEO, also known as the Big Kahuna, jumps from his chair, pounds his fist on the table, and yells, "That's it! After all this time, that's all you monkeys have to show? Where did all the money go? From what I see, the corporate database is in worse shape than before you started. You're all fired!" The above is the worst-case scenario nightmare for any project manager. The only upside to it, if you consider it as such, is the whole team was fired, and not just the project manager. In order to avoid fiascos such as the above, all projects must be tackled in an orderly fashion and the big picture always kept in mind. Things could still go sideways on you, but if you set things up correctly at the start, at least you will have backup plans for your backup plans. It will take additional work and effort, but by collecting project metrics and demographics, it will assist you when working on future projects. By also knowing what the goals of the organization are, and by having the right people in place to do necessary tasks, positive things will happen. Regularly, gathering and reporting a consistent set of metrics during and at the end of a project will help your organization recognize trends, and that will aid in delivering other projects over a period of time. The metrics should show how well project teams are meeting their commitments in terms of quality, cost, and duration. They will also uncover problems during a project and help get things back on track again before it's too late. As more and more projects report their metrics, a baseline will be established that will allow your organization to see how it is improving or slipping over time. This could be looked at as the big picture, which is very important as some individual projects cause tunnel vision, and then organizational priorities will go astray. When collecting metrics on an organization-wide basis, you should also collect some project demographics in addition to the actual metrics. Project demographics are predefined project characteristics that provide a description of each particular project. If you store the demographics and metrics in a file or database, they can be analyzed to show the overall trends in a more discrete and granular way. For instance, without demographics, you can still compare the actual cost to deliver versus the estimated cost. The advantage of gathering project demographics is that you would be able to compare similar projects. For instance, you would be able to compare the cost and effort associated with delivering mainframe development projects versus web development projects. Or you could compare how well projects from sales organization met their deadlines and budgets versus projects from the finance area. The other benefits of gathering project demographics is that you can use the information as input into future project estimates. For instance, let's say that you have a web development project using ASP and SQL Server. You could query the project database to get a sense of how much time, effort, and costs were involved in other similar projects. This may be of help for realistically estimating your project. Basically, the demographics you capture from the completed projects can be used to develop game strategies for future projects. The problem with many metrics is that they are reported in a way that does not tell a complete story to the reader. The project manager and project team may understand the full impact of what a given metric is telling them, but other readers of the information may not. One way to make sure that it is clear to everybody is always report the metric along the target at that particular point in time. For example, when reporting your current expenditures to date, also include the expected expenditures at the point in the project. If you report that your project has spent $100,000 so far and your total budget is $150,000, the reader still does not have the context to know whether this is a good or bad situation. Sure, you're under budget, but the work is not complete either. The better way to report this information is to state that you have spent $100,000 to date and that according to your estimate you should have spent $110,000 at this point in the project. If the trend continues, your estimate the final cost of the project to be $135,000 versus your budget of $150,000. If you report the metrics with its context, your readers can understand what the numbers are saying, and in this case, it is a positive report. When beginning a project manager must know how to approach it so that they can successfully execute and deliver an individual project. But before they can do this, They must also have a clear understanding of their organization as a whole and how their current project fits in. By collecting metrics regularly during a project, you will be able to quickly identify any problems and correct them before it's too late. And then by collecting project demographics and storing trends for future reference, you will be able to have an even better understanding of how to better tackle future projects that come your way. As an added bonus, you should also be able to keep not only your job, but your teams as well.